without something affecting them. And she came up with a bullshit premise. And I said, everybody calling her racist now. And I realized that the white supremacists using race.
Oh, you on your Francis Crab. You talking about Francis?
Yeah. No, but the thing was, I was watching some YouTube. And I realized that a lot of white supremacists now start calling black people racist at the drop of a hat. It's a new thing now. As soon as they don't agree with a black person, he's racist. Now, up to Charlemagne, the God was just called racist by Donald Trump. Donald Trump called Charlemagne the God racist.
Huh?
And it's a new tool that I'm afraid that going to be a tool that as soon as you disagree with somebody, you're going to be a black racist.
Yeah, I see what you're doing right there, Steve.
He brought it back.
That's some slick shit you just did right there. That was real. That was real smooth. That was slick as hell. Just late in the day.
Hey, Brad, you got to respect it because of how smooth it was.
It was smooth, bro.
Yeah.
It was a smooth transition. That was a Sade transition right there. You almost got that shit off. I'm telling you, you was right at the door, right? And then you tried to get greedy and grab one more watch out the jewel case and the alarm went off. Like, fuck your ass.
You was damn there. You was damn there, bro.
Damn, you was out the door, Steve.
Trust me, that's just all you're right.
He literally was in the car, like he ran back. He ran back in the house to grab that watch, though. He was in the car, bro.
That is why
bro. And I was sitting here waiting to see if somebody was going to say, man, what the fuck, man?
But that is why I used to get good money to write academic papers. I must write academic papers every year, 2-3 papers every year. I make good money.
No question. I'm saying, with the first thing you said about the questions on the test, I was taught in college, there's nothing wrong. Every teacher I know said this shit, bro. I will respect you more if you tell me you don't know and you're gonna go get the answer than bullshit me. Correct. Because the thing is, when all professors in college know, or at least when I was in school, they know that you're a reflection of them when you out and about. When you out on the university at our school, our professors took that shit personal. When you was doing shit or saying dumb shit or this, that, and the other, that was part of it. So our teachers would tell us like, if you don't know, just say you don't know. We're not gonna give you the point. This ain't an I know contest. That ain't what education is. The other part with her though, mute up, Corey. The other part with her, Frances Cress Welsing specifically, it's such a wild. The more we hear about it, and the funny thing is, the people that actually are calling her, it's like we have to be forced to do it because we don't even bring up the conversation. It's the other people that bring that shit up. So it's like now it's like I'm calling her pseudo and racist when I don't even think I'm gonna talk about her that day. Like I kind of want to move on to to somebody else. But in her case, Stupies, I was almost where you were, that she was trying to find something, right? That she was trying to figure this thing out and get some kind of clarity. And then she put a video in the chat where now I'm thinking that she was a doctor of psychiatry that just did some cross-domain violation, tried to make a couple dollars, and fucked up. You know what I mean? But then he put a fucking video in the chat of now she's listening to voices and it led her to some party, and from across the room she heard this functionally illiterate security guard say race is a system, and she just decided to start bullshitting off of that. So it made it worse.
Bros, I have to disagree on something.
These are words out of her mouth before you disagree.
When you referring to somebody as functionally illiterate.
Yeah, he
What,
was functionally illiterate.
what you base illiterate on? Because I'm going to tell you a
No,
story.
he
I
said
have
that.
a friend.
No, he said. I'm not saying this. He said that.
He,
When you
I,
look up Neely Fuller, it says that he was illiterate and that he was a security guard. He was an unlicensed barber, and at a party that Frances Cress Wilson, due to a voice she heard in her heart, that led her to that party, she heard him say from across the room, "Race is a system," and she just began to write his shit and her shit from that.
yeah, but all right.
That's her story. That's not my story. I didn't make that up.
Let me rebut that. Functionally illiterate.
You gonna rebut her?
No, no, I'm going to. Francis Cress Wilson pseudo. I'm
Okay.
just listening to her. I don't have a problem with calling her a pseudo. I can't justify anything she do more than I would say that as somebody who was envious, who was trying to figure out a causative agent, and then she come up with some bullshit premise. Right?
Did you know she heard a voice in her heart that led her to Neely Fuller?
But if you read a lot of autobiographic of people, they hear voices. It's not new.
Mm.
They call it inspirational muses. They find muse. They find muse and inspiration in many things. So when somebody say they hear voices or they had an inspiration, Newton sit down and say Eureka in the bed or in the
Yeah,
bathroom.
we're not talking about people. We're not talking about Newton. We talk about her.
Well,
I want to keep it specific to her.
yeah,
This
but
is a hold on, wait, because this is a
yeah, but
medical psychiatrist that's supposed to diagnose other people's dreams for a living, and
one
she's
number,
the crazy motherfucker in the room. When the motherfucker in the is telling her that they dreaming about marshmallows and Cabbage Patch Kids. The motherfucker that's paying her as a psychiatrist to diagnose the crazy shit they got going on, they don't know that they talking to a crazy motherfucker themselves. When you yell, we can't understand what you're saying, Steve.
Sorry. It was the name of that movie that Russell Crowe starred, where he was an economist and he was a madman. He was
amazing. That was an amazing movie. I know exactly what you're talking about. The Inside, was it The Insider? The Insider?
He was a madman. A lot of
that was a movie though, Stevie.
Not a true story.
No, but that was a movie though. This is real life shit I'm talking about. You talking about a depiction, even if it was based on a true story. I know that there's creative license in movies, so I don't like to use movies as examples. They trying to sell quick.
There's all kind of cases. He was schizophrenic. He heard voices, and he saw people
crazy as hell.
So he was mad as hell, and he had the Nobel Peace Prize from his theory on economics. Right, so we know that mad people
talking about no, you talking about A Beautiful Mind.
Right.
Yes.
That's a true story. Not true.
Yeah, that is a true story. That is a true story. You're right.
So when you say she was killed and saying voices, this is not unusual. If we eliminate all the white people that hear voices, we're not going to have much left. Right? Sir Isaac Newton, the man who come up back with calculus, because calculus was invented before him, but he came back and reintroduced it, right? He turned to God after a while. He turned to spirit and said, oh, God have the answer. One of the brightest minds start to tell you that God have the answer. So he became a madman. How one of the brightest man all of a sudden will tell you that, oh, God have the answer. I don't know, God knows. He's a madman. So we're not going to use madness to eliminate people. We're going to eliminate a lot of people. Mad. Would you agree with me or disagree with me on that?
I would with those people. Yeah, I would with those people, but I'm talking about her and him.
I don't be knowing what the fuck Stu P's talking about.
Yeah, Stu P's, you got to come off speaker. We can't understand what you're saying, honestly. I'm catching like every other word.
Sorry. What the fuck was that? Sorry. Where's the food? Where's the food? Where's the food? Where's the food? Oh.
Neely Fuller described himself. They said he was humble. He would say all the time, "I'm not smart.
No,
I'm not educated. I'm just trying to be logical." That's a
no.
hilarious statement.
The defense all of this shit at this point is just sick, man.
That's fucking funny as hell. It
I
says,
had a
bro,
friend.
they have
I have
no
a friend
record
from
that
St.
he even. Hold on. They have no record that he even went to high school.
It's like low key a fetish of some kind. Like
No,
you are telling him about the nigga he defended. That shit crazy as a fuck, yo.
they have no record that he even went to high school. Like, not graduated. There's no
I
record that
have
he
a
went.
friend. No. I have a friend. That don't even matter to me.
No, I don't
Because
want to
I
talk
had
about
a
the
friend.
I
friends.
don't
Let's
even
stay
want
on
to hear
Neely
this
No.
shit.
Fuller, though.
No,
Yeah,
no. Let me
Yeah,
just
what
say
the
what
this.
was
fuck
your
Let me just
going
say
on,
this.
bro?
what
No,
was
it
your
comes in
original
it.
point? What was your original
It
point?
no. My original point is that I don't like the fact that you call the man illiterate.
He's functionally
That's my
illiterate.
point. And what
I
that
didn't
mean?
call.
Define that.
Wait. It's two
Oh,
piece, two piece, two piece.
I'm trying to figure out how he got
I'm
from there
not
to.
calling him that. They
no.
when you look him up, listen. This is how ChatGPT describes him. There's no verified source where he said he was unable to read or write, but due to the times and his limited education, it's clear he was uneducated or functionally illiterate for a time in his early life, meaning he could read at a basic level, but not academically, comprehensively, or fluently. He was born into 1929 when Black Americans in the South had limited access. His own words were, he would often tell people, "I'm not smart, I'm not educated, I'm just using logic." His writing style has no complex vocabulary and sticks to simple sentence structures of a fourth grader. So I'm not saying he's functionally illiterate as disrespect. I'm telling you about him. There's no record that he went to high school. But this is the guy that I'm supposed to be like, yo, his shit is groundbreaking. And the
Well,
thing
she can't
is,
have.
hold on, Stu Pease. It's not that his shit can't be groundbreaking, but you know what's starting to irritate me, Stu Pease? Every time I say Dr. John Henry Clark and one of his students correct me and say, no, he don't have a doctor. And then I find out Dr. Ben, he's not probably really a doctor. Then I find out that this one was an autodidact and this one was self-taught. And this one created these groundbreaking theories, and none of this shit was up for peer review.
Hold on, John Henry Clark.
No, he's not a doctor. Reggie said that.
His doctor, it was honorary.
Yeah.
Oh, I always just assumed that. Boy, see, the wild part is like every time this happens, Chefrin. Listen, I get the benefit of the doubt. I won't even look. Motherfuckers say, "Oh yeah, this guy doctor." I won't argue that, or like think that's there's something there to be challenged. You know what I mean? But then later on, you look into it, it's like, no, that should have been questioned too. So
Yeah,
it's like
he ain't no doctor, but he did get honorary
Crazy
doctor.
shit.
Like
I just I've been disappointed through the years. You know what I mean? Because I have given the benefit of the doubt, right? And every time I give the benefit of the doubt, it come back and bite me. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
it's like, damn, bro. I just assumed this dude was, they put him up. And I ain't saying like, oh, Dr. Clark or Dr. I'm just gonna call him Dr. Clark. That's what I've been calling. Fuck it. I'm not saying Dr. Clark ain't an intellectual and he ain't smart or nothing like that. But the thing is, like, it's just like what I said when I said about when I was in the second grade, right? We went down to the fire department, and we got up, we got in the seat of the fire unit,
and we got the
And you
drivers.
was a fireman for the day.
They actually let us spray the hose, bro. Right? So I was an honorary, because this when you say honorary, that's where I go. That's where my brain goes. Tell me, somebody give me something and tell me, no, your brain can't go there. You wrong for going there. Because I'm a construction worker, right? So as soon as I hear the word honorary, I go back to the second grade. You know what I'm saying? At the fire department. So y'all tell me why I'm fucking that up.
No. I'm gonna tell you something that's even cooler, bro. He never graduated high school. Bet you didn't know that.
Fire. Tell you.
But
All the
you
niggas
know
stay at
what?
the Holiday
He
Inn.
was a
I mean, if
he
he
was
done
a
enough work for
voracious.
some university to
Who
He
didn't
was a
recognize,
graduate from high
voracious
school?
gotta
reader,
give him his
bro.
respect
No,
for
he
that.
didn't. He did not
Yo,
graduate from
talking.
high school. He did
Who
not.
didn't graduate from high school?
John Henry Clark, JHC,
Yeah,
did not graduate from high school.
that ain't no, that ain't like no, that ain't. Wait, but y'all saying shit that ain't even no like a secret or nothing. He ain't never hide
I
shit
didn't know.
like
No, it's a
he told
secret to
about.
me.
No, that's
It's a secret
a
to me. I didn't
secret.
know that. I didn't know
That's
that,
a secret.
Gullah. That's a secret to me.
I mean,
I
that
didn't
ain't
know
no.
That
that.
ain't a
I
secret.
mean, I
No,
mean,
I
ain't no
didn't know
fucking
that. It's a
secret or
I
nothing.
secret to
didn't know
me.
that, but
It's
also
a secret to me. I didn't know.
if
I'm
he
just
got an
saying. I'm just
honorary
saying.
degree,
If you ain't seen, if you
It
ain't
get
never seen,
worse and worse
you ain't
every
never
time
seen
he
West.
Hold
leaves.
on, let Gullah get his shit out.
You ain't never seen Wesley Snipes, Great Mighty
A
Walk.
great mighty walk.
Y'all niggas under a rock.
What is Wesley Snipes' great? What is that?
He did the documentary on him. But no,
yeah.
No, I didn't see. I didn't see that either.
I
Gullah.
don't
No,
remember
I
him
didn't.
saying
I'll
he
check it
never
out, man.
finished high school. He said he went to school, then he went in the military and was a clerk in the
Yeah, I know he
military.
went to the military. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, because he started off as a Sunday school teacher. He used to read a lot of
Yeah, he's
books and
Sunday
shit.
school teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they say he was a voracious reader. He spent decades reading, writing,
I knew he
debating,
was a
and
Sunday
studying
school teacher
history, but
because
he
he used to
never.
say where the black people are in the Bible.
Yeah, he never graduated
No,
high
I've
school.
never
Never
heard he
graduated
never
college.
graduated from high school.
No.
that's news to me.
So but it says he taught at Hunter College and Cornell based on
Yeah,
his
we got that.
knowledge and his published works, but no credentials whatsoever.
And I respect that to some degree.
No,
That
I
it's
do
true.
too. I'm just
That, you
trying
know
to.
what I
It's
mean? I
just
don't
when you
take that
see
away.
it over and over.
Yeah,
When you over and over.
when you have an honorary doctorate, you actually get the certificate from a university
Yeah,
that
some of you.
recognizes it, bro. Yeah, it ain't
No,
just like
listen, no.
They
you ain't no
also
damn
have
it ain't
different
no
types of
it ain't
honorary
no shit.
degrees.
You just sit on the fucking police officer's lap for the day type shit. Ain't
Yeah.
that type of shit at
No,
all.
but
Well,
some
some niggas get
You
honorary
know, them
doctorates.
doctorates for
honorary
just giving
degrees be
commencement
bullshit.
speeches.
No, but some honorary doctorates are you just sit
Bullshit.
on some board
Yeah.
of a
Yeah.
school and they just.
Bill
I'm not
Cosby
saying
got
his.
one.
I'm not saying
And he
his.
got one because
Gullah.
it's donations.
Yeah,
Simple.
I'm
Because
not
I was gonna
saying
say,
him, but
a
Bill
lot of
Cosby
people
got
pay
a
for
bunch
them.
of
A lot of
I mean,
people
I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
honoraries
Well,
from
and
Notre Dame,
some
but
of
it's
them get
because of the
doctorates just for doing commencement speeches. They'll give them like an honorary doctorate.
shit like that. Obama got a couple of them.
Yeah. That's why Terrence
Yeah.
Howard was touting his shit around, not to bring him or his pseudo ass up, but he got an honorary doctorate. And he spent that to saying like, yeah, I got a PhD in some type of physics or some shit. I
Yeah.
forgot
No,
what he said.
Gullah, my question in the
Nah, they was
They
laughing at
spent
that.
that shit.
I thought
my
they was laughing
challenge.
at Terrence Howard. They was laughing at that nigga.
Yeah, they
Shit.
was like, yeah,
Well,
they
they
wasn't
was
laughing
because
with
he
him.
tried
They
to
was
say
laughing
he had a
at his shit.
PhD. Like the school that did give him the honorary doctorate, he lied about the degree they gave him. And the funny part about it, that school don't even have that program to even get a PhD in that he said he got the shit in. So that's why they were on his head for that shit.
Hey, Gullah, let me ask you a question. Well, just so because you probably and you know I ain't been here forever. You know what I mean? I'm probably the newest person. My only thing with the thing is to highlight the degree aspect for John Henry Clark, or the fact that he didn't even graduate high school. It's just every time I run into these motherfuckers that they call in Saber, Bye, Master Teacher, and High Intellectual, they're all self-taught and they're all autodidacts, and none of the doctorates is real. So even if his shit is official, I can go down the line. I could do a full show on self-taught autodidacts in the Afrocentric conscious community, bro. It's like at some point, somebody got to go to fucking school. And then the one motherfucker that goes to school and gets a degree, goes and finds a motherfucker that is functionally illiterate to base her works on. So it's like at some point, Gullah, like it's the same thing I say about Black Egypt. All these fucking geneticists, all these fucking biologists, all these Egyptologists, all these archaeologists, and ain't not one of these motherfuckers got a degree. Not
Yeah,
one.
I don't even think the degree even matter at this point because Sheikh Diop actually did have a degree. He was wrong about a lot of shit.
That's a good point. I can't even fight you on that. It's just every time I turn. And the funny thing is, when we bring up these names, I'm like said, I don't even want to look these motherfuckers up. Because as soon as I look, we said Neely Fuller for 5 days before anybody actually dug into his history. And then Unc hit us with the alley-oop that he was a fucking functionally illiterate, self-taught nigga that was telling people he won a Nobel Peace Prize, security guard, unlicensed barber. Those are his qualifications. But he was a voracious reader. It's like, damn, like that shit is now I'm not even surprised by Umar Johnsons and Polites and all of that. It's dumb motherfuckers coming from a bunch of self-taught motherfuckers. Like there is no examples of like where's the outside of I just read. Where's the guy that said go to school, bro? Go get your degree.
I'm trying to figure out what's
even the niggas that go to school don't say go to school.
Hey, Logic. But this the bad part about it. They hate the nigga that went to school.
Went to school.
Oh, they hate Jabari.
Yeah, it's weird.
They hate him. You know what I mean? Because he's the example. You know what I mean? Nigga, I got my shit and I'm getting my doctorate and I'm a professor at a fucking college.
Yeah.
So all that shit y'all talking about, we all pseudo, but nigga, my pseudo is backed up with motherfucking rigor in academia. Y'all pseudo is backed up just by being wild ass niggas and all those didactic shit.
And Red Bulls and stream.
But I'm trying to figure out what's the point of preserving
this ain't sitting well
if you can't even if you wouldn't even teach their work to your kids. Like, what's the point of if they people recognize that, hey, yeah, they worked with a little off times they was in all that. So what's the point of keeping them? You wouldn't you wouldn't pass that shit on. So why the fuck we keeping them?
Yeah, but even like in the case of Dr. Clark though, they gave him the honors. He actually did teaching like professor in schools and shit. You know what I'm saying?
So did Dr. Bell. So
right.
Oh, I ain't know that.
I can't get that no credit now.
No, I ain't know that nigga.
Yeah, they was just letting the old black motherfuckers.
Nobody knows
because they was starting these Afro. They was starting Africana studies up at these colleges, and they needed people to teach these fucking courses.
That's a great point, actually. You
know what I mean? That shit didn't come with no credentials, really.
Yeah,
you feel me?
And this why.
Oh yeah, that's why James.
The emergence of Africana departments.
And you had to be a crazy motherfucker to want to take one of them classes in the first place.
Yeah, to be a crazy.
That's why you got James Smalls and all them niggas.
Yeah, James Smalls taught at one of them colleges.
Extracurricular
the one Africana studies course that I did take. It was a surprise. Like, my teacher was a wild ass nigga, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? It make all the sense. Like, the book we learned from was his book, all type of shit. I'm like, man, what the hell going on? Yeah. Like, for real.
But
that was the one course.
That's what you was talking about.
Yeah.
I bring up Mary Lethbridge all
the time. Read her shit. She talked about it.
She been talking about this since the goddamn, what was this, the 60s, 70s? She was talking about it. Was that the 80s?
Be like, you can get my book right here. It's $10, but you can have it if you got 2 joints. Like, he used to make little crazy jokes like that. I'm like, man, this the teacher. Like, what the fuck? This the professor?
He was pushing books, man. See, that's what it always comes down to, man.
You take his course, you gotta buy one of his.
Always come down to that, but the thing is, you really can't get that bullshit nowhere else. Like you really do
Probably
gotta
not.
get the book. Like
And yeah, that is cool. Wow. But you see, like they that game, that 3-card Monte game gets passed down from generation to generation because Asar does the same thing, right? If you want to hear,
Play the
if you
same
want to
game.
understand what he's talking about, you got to
Get
buy
my book.
Volume 8. You know what I'm saying?
A bunch of
Crazy.
goddamn snake oil salesmen. Man.
Volume
This is
8.
crazy.
Volume 8, Alluja Volume 8.
Feel
You need
mad
to,
I ain't.
and
Hey,
then if you
but
don't
hold on.
understand that, if you don't understand them still, then that's because you didn't get Alluja Volume 9. You see, you know what I mean?
I'm sick of these niggas, man. I'm so sick of these
tell
niggas.
y'all,
I'm
we
sick
Man.
of
can't
it.
make
This shit is
up.
disgusting.
It's like this is shower level.
It ain't worth the
content.
pages printed
Now
on.
y'all see,
Yeah,
now
this shit
y'all
is
see
wild.
why somebody like me will always get kicked off every show. Every show that I've been on, listen, every single show that I've been on the panel, eventually they kick me off. Eventually. It's just a matter of time.
Because it's all horse shit. Like, listen, I don't give a damn. Like, you know what's funny? Autodidacts and self-taught, that shit's supposed to be rare. It ain't supposed to be like a whole bunch
You
of
know who else?
motherfuckers
Who was
being
that?
autodidactic.
Right.
It's
Y'all remember
supposed to
them,
be
them
one
Egypt niggas that
shining
Reggie
light
used to
out
bring
the
on?
bunch, not the whole
Not
bunch.
everybody.
Was it Dr. Faraji or something like that? One of them niggas selling their own book. They teach out here.
Dr.
Like
Faraji, yeah.
I've seen it out here. He teach out of his book, and like I think he in UCLA or something like that. He teach out of his book.
Yeah, him and the E40 looking dude. What's the E40 dude?
That's an
He
ignorant
look
ass
just like
description.
E40.
I think it said the E40 looking dude. Oh, I
I
know
know who you
exactly who
talking
you
about,
talking
though.
about too.
Yeah.
The nigga
Yeah,
that
believe me.
Dr. Issa.
the
Issa.
nigga that
Issa, that's
Shaka
who it is.
Amos
Dr. Issa.
almost beat the shit out that nigga. I see that clip in Discord.
Yeah,
Him
yeah.
and he was outside that and they was interviewing each other. And the nigga bumped Shaka Amos. That nigga Shaka was about to beat the dog
Oh,
shit out
Shaka
of
always ready to turn
what's
But
one
the
of them
wild
niggas.
part is they all be trying to bust each other out. Like the niggas on side. In the 70s, they used to all be in on the scam. Like, but these niggas, like, they against each other. Like, because what's his name?
Somebody working
Garfield.
better than that.
Garfield was on Dr. Issa. Like, oh man, you scamming and this and that.
Oh,
And
I remember that when Garfield came on there, they kicked him right off because they was like, man, you bring that shit over here. I remember that. That's crazy.
I'm running out of product. You want to say it here?
I'm just, and the thing is, I guess I'm also like said too. These niggas worshipers is more irritating than them, cause it's the ones that's like, leave them alone. They live their
Leave him
lives.
alone for what?
Like it's like, leave them alone. How dare you talk about the great Dr. Ben and John Henry Clark? How dare you do that?
How dare you? Yeah.
How dare you honor
I
your
forgot how
father?
Reggie thought he was defending him with an AI video. I don't get that part. I thought he would have went up there and did the presentation himself. That nigga did a
And so it's getting more and
AI.
more, it's getting more and more clear to me. Like it's either like when you're dealing with these conscious community dudes, right? It's either you're dealing with a scam artist or somebody who's mentally challenged. One of the two. It ain't no in between.
Scam the whole time.
Ain't no
Listen
I
to
bought
this.
one of those what was Sean and them little Mossy things, whatever. I told them none of the books came. I'll never pull out my debit card again from one of these niggas. I swear on my life.
Hey, listen to this. Dr. John Henry Clark, Dr. Ben, Dr. Neely Fuller, Dr. Colin Muhammad, Dr. Phil Valentine, Dr. Umar Johnson, Baba Ashraf Kwesi, and
Yeah, I
Delbert
saw
Blair.
Quasi.
Okay, listen to the descriptions of these niggas' doctors. So I just remember them names because the way this shit
That's
is
why I quit.
So it's Dr. John Henry Clark. Never finished high school, self-taught, honorary from Cornell. Joseph Ben Buchanan. It says his degree is disputed and very likely to be fake. It says his degrees are fabricated and no records of any of these schools to have him as a degree. Neely Fuller Jr. claimed to win the Nobel Peace Prize, never claimed to be a doctor, completely self-taught. Dr. Khalid Muhammad, called doctor in NOI, no confirmed doctorate. Phil Valentine,
He got a
self-appointed
degree
doctor.
though.
It doesn't say
Khalid
that here.
definitely
Well, he
got a
has a
bachelor's.
degree. No, he has a degree in theological studies, it says.
Mm.
It says, but his is honorary, it says.
His bachelor's is honorary?
This says it's honorary. It says it's
No way.
honorary.
Yeah, he wouldn't be a doctor though,
status, but he definitely doesn't have a. Even if he has a bachelor's, he damn sure don't have a doctorate.
Right, he ain't no doctor.
I thought he at least had a bachelor's.
Let me see his academic
Like
career.
Mary Lefowitz.
Let me
Hey,
see
why
his
niggas
academic career.
the Nobel Peace Prize come with like $1 million bucks? Come with
What'd you
11
say?
million. I said the Nobel Peace Prize come with 11 million now, but
A million.
They
It
pay you for that?
it come with 1.2 million plus a world tour, a world book tour that they send you on.
Fire. That's
Yeah.
fine. You know what I like about it? You saw the lady that turned it down over there in the international. They told her you won the Nobel Peace Prize. She was like, I'm doing work. Get the fuck off my step. She asked him to help bring in the groceries when they told her to get the Nobel Peace Prize. Dr. Khalid Muhammad did graduate from Clark Atlanta University in the 60s in theology. So he has a bachelor's degree in theology.
So think about that. Martin Luther King had a Nobel Peace Prize. I think it must have been, he was bald shit back then.
Nah, he was, the way they talk about Martin Luther King, he was functionally broke. If you read like the people that was in and around him, he was giving away so much money, paying for so much shit out of his pocket that he was functionally broke. His family was eating from the food bank at the church. He was broke.
So what year did he get that prize?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know when he got the prize. But
Yeah, maybe they didn't give out $1 million back
then. Knowing him, the way he was, he probably gave that shit up. But hold on, listen to this. It says Ashra Kwesi, chematology. I didn't even know you could learn that in school. But follower of Dr. Ben, no credentials. Delbert Blair, doctor only by title, no academic trail whatsoever. The only ones they can confirm are Francis S.
Here's a wild man.
Malefia Sante, Leonard Jeffries, Amos Wilson, Diop, and Tony Martin. Those are the only ones that they can confirm have real doctorates. It says honorary degrees are not academic. They're symbolic, most given by a trophy, not earning any form of a belt. It says several Afrocentric speakers deliberately obscure their credentials or use Afrocentric or religious titles to boost their authority. And you know what's cool about ChatGPT?
They gave him an honorary, man, because
in these conversations, you know what I love, Corey? Remember when the Egypt conversation was coming up and everybody was saying, you can't fight ChatGPT? Do you know once ChatGPT started disproving the shit that motherfuckers were saying, they were saying stop using ChatGPT just like everybody else?
Mm-hmm.
I remember that. I remember Smash was telling niggas, all y'all do is ChatGPT and Wiki. And niggas is like, that's what you use when you're trying to get information. And now that I'm using it, they don't like how I'm using it. I'm using it wrong.
Hey, and then the way they play the doctorate, right? This is how I always heard them play the honorary doctorate, right? It's like they try to say like, yo, he didn't need to go through all of the rigor because he was ahead of the game. That's why they gave him an honorary doctorate, like because he was so special that he just skipped over all the shit. You see what I'm saying? Like he didn't need to take no classes. They just gave him the doctorate because of the
he
work.
Was too cold for all that shit, man.
He said he was too cold.
That's basically what they saying. He was too cold to be in class. Like, bro, come on, man. You just gotta get this guy a doctorate. We can't put him through classes and shit. Like, that's how they used to play it.
But what they don't realize is like, listen, even if they didn't have doctorates, I almost wouldn't have really too much of a concern with it. Similar to when Unc said, I don't know, John Henry Clark was just trying to make some money. Well, okay, I can accept that shit. It's when y'all try to give me the other bullshit. That they some master geniuses and sabers and bye-byes and all this other shit. Like, nah, he just a nigga talking shit. He just read a lot. A nigga that reads a lot can talk real good shit. We can tell you, like, his vocabulary, even like when you talk about Jay-Z, that's one of the, when they talk about when he was rhyming back in the day, all the niggas said the nigga would read. He's an avid reader. His mother was an educator. He's an avid reader. That's why he could put words together and make shit sound, such and such, this, that, and the other. And I'm not saying they're not educated, but goddamn, why do you got to keep going to go get doctorates to explain this shit? When y'all show these videos of these niggas speaking, hey, that should be enough. But it ain't enough because these niggas is all self-taught. They're all self-taught and scamming to a degree. When you scamming to a certain degree, you can only take some of that shit at face value. Only some of it.
But it's all like the whole anti-establishment shit, is wild. It's a wild thing. Like they hijacking the anti-establishment. That's what pseudos do on like, even I see a lot of white people do. I think white people do it the best though. Like they make anti-establishment shit, but they pseudo with it. Like they do that shit the best. But it's like, yo, we don't want the white man's education. You know what I'm saying? That's the sentiment that, oh, you requiring confirmation from the white man. You need the white man's piece of paper to confirm you and this and that and the other. You know what I mean? It's like, it's a whole, like, they got the rhetoric. I'm telling you, it's a fucking rabbit hole. I was telling somebody before, man, like, yo, the conscious community is like, it's a roach motel. You know what I'm saying? And if you think about a roach motel, right? It's a black box that lures feeble-minded roaches.
I was wondering where you were going with this. Go ahead. Now that's it. Like it's an analogy. Listen, the conscious community. Think about it. Think about a roach motel. Think about the conscious community, right? The conscious community is a black box. And what the black box does is it lowers the feeble-minded roaches in to get the poison. And then those feeble-minded roaches that come in and get the poison, they go out and poison the otherwise community of roaches.
Corey, what you mean by black box? You have to push back. I don't like that analogy.
Well, because
you ain't never seen a roach.
I know I've seen a roach motel. I understand. But why it has to be a black box?
Because that's what this is all. As long as you black, it's a box of black bullshit. You see what I'm saying? That might make y'all uncomfortable, but it's all it is blackity blackity black black black, and it's a box of blackity black 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 bullshit.
Where do you disagree, Stu? Let me ask a question. Where do you disagree?
I disagree because most of the information that they have in the conscious community, it does not originate with black people. It's information they get from white pseudos.
Yeah, but they paint it black. The Roach Motel can be clear, it can be white, it can be black.
Right. But the fundamental
what you mean by that? Explain what you mean by that white. They get it from white people. Explain that. Explain when you said that.
Most information that they get in the conscious community that you see them running around with, if you trace the source of the information, it comes from like the late 1800s, from white pseudo, when Egypt was in
Madame Blavatsky, is what he's saying.
Madame Blavatsky and most of those people. That's where the information comes from. The Christian information originate with black people. The Egypt information did not originate with black people. So it was not black box. It was a camouflage white box.
But they made it. They made the black people made their own box. Now the white folks, are you right? They got it from Madame Blavatsky, right? But what it is functionally in the conscious community is a black box. It used to be a white box, fine. You know what I'm saying? I ain't mad. That's a true statement, Stu Peas. They got a lot of
we usurp.
I'm starting to think white
White
people set
people.
us up with that bullshit. I ain't gonna lie.
because in a minute you're gonna see black folks spewing the same shit Alex Jones spewing. Just give it another couple years. You know what I'm
Give it
saying?
15 years.
No, I think the real danger is that it actually mirrors right wing conservatism, right? Like that paves the way to legitimize right wing conservatism on the other side. You know what I'm saying? Like I actually think that, and then like it's worthless. You know what I'm saying? Like if you think about the state, I don't know about that. That's too much broad sweeper. But think about like what it does to people who might actually like look at themselves as trying to do something for black people. At least like, you know what I'm saying, this particular circle, like look how wrapped up they is in it, and they never get shit done because of how they fucking think. Like if this is what I could see white people trying to turn our activism into this bullshit. I could see it. I'm starting to get there on some COINTELPRO pro shit.
No.
It's always money in people's plights, right? You know what I mean? In your grievances and all that. Like I'm telling you, you can play on people's grievances and you can see it in real time. Like look at the. I know maybe you and I don't know, maybe I might have to change our mind or whatever, but you can look at like the MAGA crowd, right? And and look at how they get manipulated. You know what I'm saying? Because they do have a grievance, right? And the grievance is real. The grievance is
The
real.
grievance is real, right? Yes.
Yeah. But the thing is, you misdirected the snake oil salesman misdirect the grievance. You see what I'm saying?
The MAGA is the white version of NOI. MAGA is the white version of the
That's
NOI.
the same shit I'm starting to look at, bro.
If you look at the NOI, look at the MAGA.
I think the white version of the NOI is what you call it, the Mormons. That
MAGA ain't the white version of NOI.
Yes, it is. It rotates around the Supreme Leader.
I think
whoever the Supreme Leader is.
No. I'm just saying the Latter Day. Look at try to make that comparison with the Latter Day Saints in the NOI, and you'll see more comparisons than MAGA.
The reason why the Latter Day Saints is not like the NOI is that the Latter Day Saints, although they have a Supreme Leader, they're run by a council. The NOI is always run by the Supreme Leader. It might appear that other people are there, but their power never matter. It was always the leader of always the power of the Supreme Leader that dictates the NOI. And the Supreme Leader could not have done anything wrong. He could have had sex with 116-year-old. It wasn't a thing. They all knew about it and they weren't bothered.
Do the same thing. What was his name?
Yeah.
John Smith or whatever.
Yeah, John Smith. And then also that council in the Latter-day Saints, that shit don't really run like a council if you really understand it. Like if you really study the Latter-day Saints, that shit really is. It's kind of singular too. It ain't really like a joint council like you think. It really is like one or two motherfuckers. It ain't as it sounds good, right? But it ain't in application.
Scientology. All of it, like that's all relatable to me. It all relates to me.
But the leaders in the modern Latter-day Saints is not as prominent as the leaders in the NOI.
I just don't mix religion. My main gripe with your argument is the religious and politics. I tried to model the NOI after something like theological and mystical. MAGA is a political thing. And I don't think
MAGA is a cult.
I know. Listen, I know
it is a
you can
cult,
call it a cult. You can call it a cult. You can call it whatever. That's fine. But it's one thing when it's backed by because if you was trying to make the connection of Christian nationals as the backbone of MAGA, then you'd have some kind of religion in it, but that don't even work. Is the MAGA at its roots is it's like American nationals, so it's political. It's not religious. That's what I'm trying to. That's what I'm trying to do. Latter-day Saints.
But what you're also disregarding when you make that statement is the view of almost Donald Trump is seen by many in the MAGA community
As what?
As prophecy, as destiny.
Oh
as
yeah, no, that's wrong. That's not.
Of course, they are.
No, I'm just telling you, it's not true.
And the ask about Donald Trump.
As
a
Christian man.
prophet.
That's a division of MAGA.
Yeah.
You have extremists in MAGA, and you have non-extremists like Bass. Bass at the beginning was.
But I'm not in MAGA. I'm not MAGA. Like Make America Great Again. Then the reason I could never be MAGA because Make America Great Again. The whole Make America Great Again concept is Reconstruction and slavery. That's when they say Make America Great Again, that's what the fuck they're talking about. They're not talking about the 60s and the 50s. They're talking about Reconstruction and slavery. So I would never say Make America Great. I don't want to go. I would never say, like, I don't think we were great at that time. Ask a MAGA person, right? When I know them, I talk to them. When you talk to them, and they talk about a time when people stuck to their own and they lived over there and we lived over here and there wasn't a whole bunch of rubber brow and we handled our own business and people stayed out of our way. Nigga, that's Reconstruction and slavery. That's Jim Crow. So Make America, in their mind, Make America Great Again is like them giving us land to work on and fucking the quotas and shit like that. They're not talking about when was America great in that way? Like that's them. That's when that's American nationalism at its fine, the Klan and shit like that. So no, that's not Make America Great Again. Ain't even I don't know what you thought they meant. What did you think they meant by MAGA when they said Make America Great Again? What time period did you think they was referring to?
No, I've always known the time period. In their mind, they're visualizing Bel Airs and Bobby Soxers and segregation.
Hell no. They hated that. They hated the 60s and fucking Martin Luther King and
I'm
all
talking
that
about
shit.
The 50s and 40s.
They
after World War II when they came back and they
the Roaring Twenties.
Right.
That's the Great Depression. They hated all that shit. They want to go back to when the South was the South and like damn near like that. Like stay out our goddamn business and what we do with our niggers and shit like that. Like that kind of they want to go back to that kind of shit. Where it was like even in the Roaring 20s, you had the Great Depression. So that's not like and World War I ain't that's not the happiest time period in the world. That they came back and all the women was the men in the household. Let them tell it. So there's not a time as far you got to think from their eyes when they were most powerful. That's slavery and Reconstruction, Jim Crow. Once the government got involved in you can't say the 50s and 60s because that's when civil rights. That's when the bubbling of that shit started.
That's the whole anti-establishment shit.
Yeah.
That comes from those old school Dixiecrat, the motherfucking back in the fucking Revolutionary War and shit when the South motherfuckers, they was anti-establishment. That's all. You still see it today. You still see the Confederate flags.
Yeah.
All that means rebellion, anti-establishment. When you ask a white person, and they don't, you ask a white person, hold on 1 second, stupid. You ask a white person with that Confederate, when you see them riding down with the Confederate flag on they pick up.
Proud than a bitch.
Right. Yeah, proud as hell. And you ask him what it means, he'd be like, nah, it ain't got nothing to do with racism, bro. It means that it's about I'm a rebel. You know what I mean? It's meaning I'm a rebelling against the government, the anti-establishment. This is what they're gonna explain to you. No white. Ask a white dude. Pull him up when you get to the gas station. One time, just ask him, man, what that flag mean, man? You know what I'm saying? What that mean to you? You know what I mean? He gonna tell you. He ain't gonna tell you it mean racism or he wants slavery or no shit. It's not. It don't mean that to him. It means
For
a
Dixieland,
time where the government was not telling white folk what to do. They didn't have so much regulation on white folk. You see what I'm saying? That's what that means. Go ahead, man.
Question. But now that we're seeing that the attempt to reinstall these
that
Confederate
shit,
statues.
that shit stand for when cotton was king in Dixieland.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
yeah.
what I'm saying that
Writers was
now we're seeing that
immediately.
Donald Trump is promoting the reinstallation of all of these Confederate statues that were pulled down in 2020.
Mhm.
That's part of making America great again. And that's why I'm have to agree with your brass on that, because he's going back to a time when these men were seen as heroes. And
Yeah,
that time is when they had black people under total control.
yeah. You got to remember in the 20s, like so. Now, if you talk to a novice, right? That just looks at politics just in a way, but you look at if you actually read on the subject, the MAGA, what they'll try to say is they're talking about Reagan and the 80s and all of that, but you got to remember that's not really like that's like nostalgia because these niggas was all alive during that time. But the shit that they singing about and the shit that they're restoring and motherfuckers going to Charleston, Virginia with torches. Look at the messaging behind it. It ain't the 20s. The 20s was prohibition, right? So
Yeah,
only the real rich motherfuckers was making money at that time. It ain't the 60s, so it ain't civil rights. It ain't the 80s, because all of that shit that's after post-Vietnam, anti-welfare and all of that. That's that. It ain't the 2000s, because in the 2000s, remember George Bush, that's post 9/11. So you're talking about that's when the world was you're starting to see the LGBT, the black groups and all the different, it's more multicultural.
yeah,
But think about Reconstruction though. That's
yeah.
when white
Reconstruction,
male dominance was unquestioned. You couldn't
question. Yeah,
even question white male dominance, bro.
that's why they.
And if
That's why
there
they trying to.
was any success for black people, it was in like Tulsa. It was like
Yeah,
really compacted. And that's what they want now. They don't mind if you're successful, as long as you rap, sing, fucking play football, entertain, sweat, like Claude Anderson says, sweat equity.
yeah.
Remember what immigration
A
was?
work
Go
in the
ahead, Gullah.
fucking a work in the fucking hotels and fucking picking fruit. That's why they're trying to
Yeah.
get rid of the fucking our fucking immigrant brothers and sisters and shit.
When
Because they
was
trying to make.
immigration limited, Gullah? No
Yeah, they trying to.
immigration during that time.
Nah,
No immigration.
yeah, only time it was immigration was you had to have like Mexicans coming in, they go back,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying,
to work.
shirt crop and shit like that for
Yeah,
work.
to work.
But it wasn't no
Chinese was
immigration like
working.
that.
Yeah, no. And
You
then
know
on
what I'm
top of
saying?
that, remember, no gays. If they were, the women had to shut the fuck up. Gays had to shut the fuck up. Minorities had to shut the fuck up. And then if you look at now I'm gonna give you the best example, Stu Peace. CRT and them trying to regulate the schools. What were the books like during Reconstruction? See? They were so now doesn't it seem like think about all the shit they
Brass,
trying to
we had
remove.
this
They're not trying to
conversation
remove
before,
shit from
Brass.
the 80s. Yeah. They're not
Brass, we
trying
had
to
this
remove shit
conversation
from the
before.
80s. They're
It was
trying to
created by
remove
the
shit
Daughters
from
of
the
the
day.
Confederacy. Our school
Yeah.
curriculum created by the Daughters of the Confederacy.
But
That's the
Brass and I had this
Yeah.
conversation before when I said that he's trying to erase certain people from history by removing the
Yeah.
books. And you
Yeah.
were saying that they cannot do that. That will never happen.
No, they
But give
can't
it
do it
time.
because a lot of that shit's in our soul at this point. It's in our culture. Because you can remove literature, but you can't. It's very difficult. It takes a very long time to remove culture. You
Right,
know what I
but
mean? Like Martin Luther King is culture. You could take his name out of a book, but he's in so many different places. Even if you remove the federal holiday, that would be a day where we all just wouldn't go to fucking work. And then on top of that, what I mean by the culture, they want to remove the multicultural aspects through peace because white people celebrate Martin Luther King as much as we do. So it's different. It would be very difficult to remove certain things from the culture But hold on, stay right there though. But that's why you see, like, they want to go back to when a Negro knew his place. So it's not, we would never dare run for president. We wouldn't dare run for Senate. We wouldn't dare try to do a Black Lives Matter or something like that. We get our head bust open while the cops watched. See, you now you get what I mean by, they could say 80s and motherfucker fall for that. But if you actually watch what they saying, look at what they're doing. They're trying to go back to Reconstruction, Jim Crow. And that's the fight. That's what you, so that's why when motherfuckers be like, oh, this statue and this, fuck them statues. Pay attention to what, like, motherfuckers is actually, and this ain't even, I'm not even saying Donald Trump. I'm saying like the extreme MAGA. We was gonna talk about Heritage Foundation. Hopefully we spark that up early in the morning. We should do that live tomorrow. We should talk about the Heritage Foundation, switch the whole shit up. Make the whole community, I guess, follow us and talk about that shit now. But like, get on to this money. This ain't all Donald Trump. MAGA that's some deep-seated other shit, bro. MAGA's a motherfucker. It's a little bit deeper than, that's why I say don't look at him as a prophet, because you're giving him too much power, because MAGA doesn't look at him like he's a prophet.
No, some in MAGA do.
Yeah, but he's a representation of their views, though, or at least they feel like he will implement their views again, or is representative.
Yeah, he's a restorer. He's a restorer. He's somebody that unabashedly will try to restore. Like, he's a motherfucker that like all the shit that they say that their wildest dreams, he do. Like, put that fucking slave masters plantation back up. Get that Martin Luther King bullshit out of here. Rename the goddamn
send all the immigrants into concentration camps and all this.
Right.
Yeah,
so that's he's a restorer of a lot of their the rhetoric.
Do you see that recent thing they got going on with the promotion of the ICE position, saying like you can get a position within ICE, $50,000 bonuses. Like they got a whole promotion out there for people, bro. To come
Did you see all these mayors?
Take all the immigrants away.
Did you see all these mayors? Crazy. Did you see that black mayor? There's a black mayor that had to sign the ICE document. They're making the mayors in these towns sign ICE documents so that these motherfuckers could float around towns freely with no real pushback, like bounty hunters almost. And this mayor, I'm gonna put it in the chat. This black mayor, I think he was a mayor, so he's somewhere in government, and he was so pissed off about it that he just literally just came out in the streets and said, yeah, I signed that fucking document. Next question. Because now they're tying a lot of the funds to whether you accept these ICE documents or not, whether you accept the ICE move around, like they're doing it in
funding, emergency funding.
That's why I live in Cali, baby. We don't need it. Get them niggas out of here.
I'm gonna put it in there. But yeah, when you look at MAGA, that's why I say that's why I wanted to remove them. Sometimes I like to remove the mysticism out so you can see it for what it is. He's like a restorer for them. But see, the thing with him is he knows his crowd. He knows how to talk to them niggas, and he knows how to restore shit that don't mean anything also. Like, they are just as happy. They're more happy when you put up a Confederate statue than he is when you actually do some legislation that'll help them in their home. They're more excited about him getting involved in NIL because they think black young kids are getting too much money. You know, like little shit, like little
while they snatch Medicaid,
exactly, right? While the MAGA's grandparent can't go to the fucking hospital because they can't afford, like, they're not even paying attention to that shit. So it's like, you know, I don't like to mysticize politics. If you ever notice, 2Ps in our conversations, I like to take a lot of the mythology out of it.
Yeah, but I understand what you're doing, and I understand the reason why. I understand what you're doing, and I agree with you. But the reality of the situation is this, is that they do mysticize him. Many in the MAGA group mysticize him, and when they see what they think about him, and the same rules that they apply for everybody else, he's beyond those rules. And MAGA will tell you that he doesn't trust pedophiles, that he knows all of the people who went to Epstein Island. And when you mention to them that Trump went to Epstein Island, it doesn't carry the same
Yeah, they
effect.
don't matter. Yeah, because like, I've seen
Yeah,
the
it
videos
don't
where
matter,
they'll
right? Although
say
you
a
and I
talking
know
point.
that he's just a walking, breathing man, they seem as more than that.
Yeah,
And we cannot
it's really
deny
more
that.
like he can't do no wrong.
No,
more than
I'm not
anything.
saying he's not. Listen, I'm
I just think
just
he's on a
saying I don't
pedestal.
want to put him on the level of Fard Muhammad and John Smith.
Yeah, I
Like
wouldn't
the
go that
magic,
far, but he's
John
definitely on a
Smith is the
pedestal though.
magic
For sure.
underpants and all of that type of shit. Like Fard Muhammad is a white man that founded the NOI. Like this is like that's a level of like let them niggas go over there. If we're gonna mysticize him, look at him as this symbolic restorer of the great old Dixie shit like that. I don't mind that. That's cool, but not as a
that's
prophet.
cool.
He
That's
ain't a
how
prophet.
you may see him, but that's not how they see him. We have to be honest.
Yeah, I get it. I get that. But you know those same MAGA people, hold on. You know those same MAGA people, though, that we're talking about, that have this mystical such and such? There was a time when MAGA, the Republican Party, and Conservative Party, all at once, didn't give a fuck about Donald Trump.
That's true.
And this is after his first presidency. So I ain't talking about before politics. I'm talking about they were the ones
2017
pushing the felonies just as much. Yeah, they were pushing the motherfucking felonies, and they were pushing the he shouldn't be able to run, and he fucked up the community. You know, they were on them just like that. The only time that they really started paying attention to Donald Trump, and this goes back to my point,
when they knew they couldn't beat him,
is when they knew that he couldn't lose if you put this nigga in an election. And then the whole
his vice president said he was similar to Hitler, and now
he called him Hitler.
Shit crazy.
And then, but then they knew. I don't know, said if you was in here back in the day, but I know you were, Stu Peace. I've been telling y'all, it's all about who could win an election. The whole world turned on Donald Trump until they realized Trump could beat Biden. And then when Biden fell out, oh man, it was over with. They knew he could beat Kamala Harris. No question. No question.
Literally everybody from Trump's last cabinet said he was untrustworthy. I wouldn't, you know what I'm saying? Everything bad about him. And it didn't matter worth a damn. Mitt Romney, any of that shit did not matter, bro.
Yeah. If he couldn't win, they wouldn't treat him like
and that is why when you told me, Brass, that the House and the Senate will push back, and I said no, they will never push back against him. They will never push back against him. Even I will say that now, even with requesting releasing the Epstein files, most of these men stepped and said no. They voted against it. So when you look at it, moral values and all of it, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Because all that matter is we are going to maintain or to promote our status as being the best people for America. White people. That's all that matter. We're going to sell white people a vision that we're going to put everybody back under control. We're going to make America great again.
Hey, Stu, you know, time is a funny thing. You would think, based on all the stressors and drama, that Donald Trump been president for 2 or 3 years already.
Yeah.
People don't realize it's
7 months.
He's been president since January. So come the primary, look, when I see my pushback statement still stands. Because come January, when these motherfuckers start running in these
I think they're gonna get
primaries,
impeached.
bro, when he don't have the full votes in the government, just watch.
It'll be like, you know good for us. We done got everything already. We done got all the shit passed that we needed passed. We done got all the shit for the corporate motherfuckers.
And
we done got all our
they can get
subsidies.
all that shit.
We're done with you, bro. We're good on you. Get him out of here.
Get him out of here, bro.
No, but what's happening now? The jury rigging some of the states like Texas. Texas is jury rigging Texas to ensure that Texas win all the seats.
Gerrymandering going on, right? But
gerrymandering been going on. He didn't create that. That's not.
They're doing
tip the scale because Abbott and
Yeah.
them down there, they fucked up
They
bad.
do it. Yeah, I
bad.
know, but they do it on both sides. Bro. The gerrymandering ain't. That's not something. Gerrymandering
Oh
is
no, I
not
ain't saying
something
gerrymandering
like.
only done there. I'm
Yeah.
saying
Listen,
like they have to for this upcoming primary because they know all those
Yes.
people about to
Yes.
lose.
the
Yeah.
Republicans winning the Senate. So even if they lose the House, they're winning the Senate. So
I
although the
mean,
House will pass a million laws, none of them not going to pass in the Senate. All of these
I
people,
don't think the majority. I don't
honestly, I
think
think
they'll
it's going
have
to
the
be the most
overwhelming
important
majority.
primary coming up that we've seen. Like honestly, I think it's going to be
No,
the
they're
biggest
gonna lose
turnout.
though.
I think it's
They're
going to
gonna
be the biggest
lose.
turnout we've seen. Like, bro, you don't
They're gonna lose.
they're going to lose one of the houses.
They're gonna lose
They're going,
one of them. So they
but
may
they're not
lose
going to
both,
lose
but they're
both.
definitely gonna lose one of them. Well, all you
Nah,
Yeah,
have
they're
to
not
do
going
is
to
vote
lose
yes.
both.
they gonna tip the Senate back though. I promise you that. They gonna tip that back. They may lose the House, but they gonna tip that Senate back, man.
Yes. And then
The
now,
Senate is
what
the
you're gonna
Senate is
have
the one
is,
without. Yeah, they're
Go ahead.
going to they're going to win the Senate. They might lose the House, but they're going to win the Senate.
Yeah.
And then what's gonna happen is motherfuckers is gonna go in there and start talking.
No,
And when they
they gonna
talk, they're just
repeal
gonna
all that
sit there
shit,
and
and they gonna
listen.
have the
Yeah,
votes
yeah,
to
listen.
pass.
Right, exactly. They're gonna sit there and listen. They're gonna say, "Yeah, go ahead, keep talking. No, just talk all you want." And then when that vote comes, they just gonna vote and leave. I've seen them. They did that with other times when them fucking houses tipped back the
Mamdani
other
is
way.
setting the blueprint for both sides to win, bro.
Yeah.
Anti-Israel, America first. We don't fuck with none of this. The cutting the Medicare. Like all you gotta do is run against all these current Republican policies and principles, and you're gonna clean up in the primary coming up. You're gonna clean the fuck up.
Yeah, that's how you just
Clean
gotta
up,
be
bro.
patient, Stu, with the pushback. Like I told you, any decision any politician makes in Washington, D.C. got a 16-month lifespan. That shit better work. If that shit don't work in 16 months, or you're still working on it in 16 months, you're also running
You
for
wanna know
some
what's
form of
crazy though?
reelection
Something
in
I
them
just
16
realized.
months. And you won't get reelected, bro.
I just
won't.
found out that
I don't think he's
Obamacare
going
was
after Obamacare until the midterms. Because if he goes after Obamacare now, it's a guaranteed loss. Because people think his blue states depend on Obamacare. Those
no
red
red state.
states.
Well, you know, it was called Romney Care at first. It was ushered in by Mitt Romney, and it was actually supported by the Heritage Foundation. But then Obama was like, "Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Let me take that." I'm saying, look it up, bro. Mitt Romney had his own version of that shit at first. I want to say in like Kansas, some shit somewhere. I forgot where he be at, but
It's a doctor version. A lot of times when people say
yeah,
Obamacare, I just automatically say, remember, that's the Affordable Care Act.
it's affordable. But I'm saying like
Obamacare, yeah.
the idea of it
The
was
concept, yeah, the whole concept.
what came from
No,
the
the whole
Heritage.
concept was a Republican
It
concept.
was a Republican concept. Yep,
Yeah,
exactly.
the whole concept.
Because honestly, I am glad that Trump win in certain aspect. Because then now it might result in, and I wanted him to kill Obamacare also.
But what? That should have
Because
been amazing for people, bro. What?
no, the reason why is that when the
My
Democrats
sisters,
come in,
all my family on that shit, bro. They love it.
yeah, but when
It's
when the Democrats come back in, they'd have to replace it. And it would have to probably be replaced with something better than what
ended.
Obamacare was.
I mean, I don't know.
Obamacare has
Honestly,
been
I don't.
Obamacare has
I'm
been a
not.
little
So
problematic.
you gonna chance them making it better? Like, so you willing to let them just cancel it in hopes that no.
Yeah,
What's the
because it needs to
replacement
be better.
strategy like?
It needs to be
It's one
better.
thing. Maybe you're thinking of reform, right? I can see them reforming it, but once they say it's gone, like they don't have, there's no guarantees it's coming back. Like I
No,
don't,
a new healthcare system.
and
They
I
might
don't
call
trust
it
the
a
honor
universal
system like
healthcare.
that.
But that's what I'm saying. The universal health care never worked at first. That's why Obama went with the Romney plan. Like, fuck it, let's just put this in. We already got both sides approving it. We might as well just do it. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like that universal health care shit was never gonna fly. But that Obamacare / Romney care plan, that shit was gonna fly because you had both sides. It was bipartisan.
Can I give y'all a little piece of political information? I was hoping that we would talk about the Heritage Foundation. Maybe we'll do it tomorrow. Obamacare, the original concept, wasn't Romney. It was the Heritage Foundation.
That's what I'm saying. They created it and then they gave it to Romney. And then
it was literally the Heritage Foundation that individual mandates and That whole little concept, the private insurance, no government run, that don't even sound like some liberal shit. Just remember, if you just look at the concept of it, that's not even something. That's why they repealed the individual mandate part, because it's so conservative that it was, so when y'all hear the Romney part, yeah,
because
Obama
it
name
was
on
to make
it.
insurance company money, because everybody
Yeah,
had
he
to
added
before
the damn
consideration.
subsidies, but it still costs too much. So Obamacare has its pros and its cons like
Yeah,
any
like I
insurance,
get
but that
tax
shit
expert
still
for not
costs too much.
having my own
That shit
private.
still costs too much. Yes, it
No,
still
because
costs too much.
Yeah, I
healthcare in
get
America
tax
is too
extra for that.
expensive. That's it. That's it. It's healthcare in America is too expensive.
It's
Because
privatized.
because let's say somebody can have a same issue and they go some other country, dental thing. They get just as good treatment at a fraction of the cost, and they pay out of pocket. Healthcare in America is expensive. You go to the hospital for one day, and we look at how much they're charging you. You say, seriously?
Yeah, they charge you like $80 for an aspirin. They wild.
Right. Disposables, this, that. You end up through the bill that you get if you're uninsured. It's like almost $15,000 for
Oh, it's
one
not
day.
even funny, bro. Like people lose their houses over medical. People lose shit over medical bills all the time.
Yeah, the
Bankruptcies.
biggest. Go ahead, sir.
No, that's I was just saying like medical bills is a big deal for people. I mean, just having babies without health care could cost you 20-30 racks. Shit.
Right, that's true. The biggest thing Obama was looking for was just to get more people health care. I mean, it was the base idea was get more people health care.
But he was running
The
on a
second
universal
idea
care
was
plan at first. See, that
no,
shit
no,
fell
yeah, I know,
flat.
but then even the point of like there was becoming an issue of if you didn't have insurance, you were getting shipped from the good hospital where you needed fucking help to the goddamn some shit in your local neighborhood that was damn near a sanitarium for crazy people, or motherfuckers was going around the corner to get fixed by the shaman and all this other shit. So at least if you went, you could get some care. You know what I mean? And you could
People was being put outside the
do it.
hospital.
But the problem is that it still was very expensive. If you really studied Obamacare, it still was
Don't be expensive
very.
because we got people using the emergency room like it's a primary care physician. Like that ain't what that shit for.
And then the other part was some states didn't want Obamacare. So then what happened was the poorer states or the rural states that people don't really pay much attention to anyway. The poorer states and the rural states was the ones that were suffering, but nobody really cared about it or knew about it because in media coverage, nobody really gives a fuck about the poorer states or the rural states. But the thing is, those states, some
until
of
it's
those
time to
states
campaign to
didn't want right. They didn't want that expansion of Medicare was the tough thing for states to swallow. That was a tough piece. So if they didn't accept it, it would go crazy.
Let's be honest, bro. Many persons in red state didn't know that Obamacare and the affordable health care was the same thing.
No, they don't. Because the Republicans
but that's why I fall under that's their fault.
Yeah, but they branded it that way. They knew what they was doing.
I get it. No, I get it. But if you look at the Obama, the documents that were in hospitals and the documents that were sent to your home did not say Obamacare on them. It says the
no
ACA.
document says Obamacare on it.
Yeah, it says the Affordable Care. It was the ACA. So if they wanted to watch TV and talk to their friends and ignore the fucking ACA on the paper in front of them,
when you place
then
affordable
I
with
can't.
Obama,
Like, I mean,
you can
shit.
on it easier. You can't shit on something when you're calling it affordable the whole time.
Yeah. And the problem is when you name something affordable, but then them goddamn deductibles is out of control, it gets a little.
Well, I mean, I didn't see nothing crazy. My ex, she had it for a minute, so I put her on mine. But like, only thing I would see the difference between my insurance and hers was like the amount of facilities she had access to. You know what I mean? And she didn't have a lot of facilities that they had that she can go to. It'd be like a few, and that's out here in LA. So I can't imagine what it's like in smaller places.
Yeah,
No,
the Obamacare part was dangerous because you have Republican states just refusing the shit just on name only. Just
yeah,
on
but
just like it's just, and then on top. See, you don't remember? Do you remember 2013's 2Ps? Like, did you actually have to sign up for it,
yeah, you had to sign up for it.
Okay,
And
do
they
you
were,
Yeah.
remember that fucking? Do
Or
you
you
remember
get
that goddamn
penalized.
website, bro? You
Yeah,
remember
that
no,
that
shit was
it's
fucking
trash.
freezing
that
on niggas
website
and
took
shit.
damn near a
Fucking
year
up.
to get right.
Shit was
That
Yeah,
shit
but
was
freezing and
fucked up
shit.
almost a year later.
no,
Yeah.
because the traffic was heavy and it was crashing.
It's heavy. The
You
No,
server.
know
it
that.
was a fucked up website. It wasn't the traffic. It was just a fucked up website. You couldn't log in. You would create an account. Then the shit would forget your account. Remember, I got a corporate one, so I had to sign. That shit took me almost a fucking year. Not me. I'm talking. I have an expert that was doing it. That was like, I can't do it. It's not set yet. Remember, they were trying to give the penalties, and they couldn't even
Yeah,
give out the
Yeah, let's
fucking
they
say
penalties
had
because
to,
people couldn't sign up
withdraw
for the
because the
website.
website had issue.
Yeah, they
But
couldn't
then
sign up for it.
over time, that thing it got fixed.
yeah, it did.
But
Yeah, but then when it got fixed, you realized that Obama was lying.
because
What
remember,
he
He
said, he
said
just
you
had to
could.
put something in place, bro. He was promising
No, but the
universal
base
health
shit
care,
of it,
bro. So he
but
had
the
to do something.
core of it was a lie. The
no,
core.
no.
Yeah, but you gotta understand,
I'm not saying that
Obama
he
was
No,
wasn't
about to
doing
lose the
it.
House,
Let's be
bro.
honest.
He
Steve,
knew
I'm
it.
not giving you my opinion. I'm not giving you my opinion. I'm telling you a fact.
But he passed it when he had
His
60%
statement.
of the Senate. Then he lost it, so he had to get something done, or he won't be able to get
He,
shit done
yeah,
after that.
he
I'm not
had to.
saying he wasn't. I'm
It
not
was
saying
heavily
that.
compromised when he
It was
lost the
crunch
Senate.
I'm
time.
not saying that. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is his core line was, y'all remember, if you like your healthcare plan,
Keep
you
it, yeah.
keep it.
But that's
And that
true.
wasn't
I still
fucking
got mine. I'm
true.
still with United. Well, I was
Yo,
with
bro, you know how many motherfuckers was getting
Aetna for a minute.
cancellation notice in the hospital? How many
Uh,
motherfuckers was getting the fucking bills because they thought they had the shit the whole time? Like, you gotta remember how people go to the doctor when
well, I
you're
mean,
a little older.
is it initiate? Is it active? Right. What was it? How fast was it active? Like, I don't know. Was
No,
that
what
an
would
issue? I
happen
don't have
was,
it. I don't know the issues per se, but I'm just telling you, like, from the few
no. What
people
would
I've
happen
seen.
was is the whole thing wasn't a lie, but that's one of the core tenets of ACA. Millions of motherfuckers. Now here's the problem: the millions of motherfuckers. It seems like it's not a lot, but remember, the elderly in the United States, they go unless y'all got older parents, you won't know what I'm talking about. They go to the doctor a lot more than you fucking think. So
Yeah.
like in 4 months, your parents, based on medications, checkups, they might have had an injury, they might have got to go to therapy 3 times a week, whatever the fuck is going on, they might have gone to the doctor in 4 or 5 months. What? 100 damn times, damn near, or
And
40
That's
times, 50 times.
I live next door to
Imagine
a
getting them bills.
assisted living.
Imagine
They
getting
go
them
every day.
bills all at once, finding out your shit was canceled, and you get all of that shit at once. That shit was happening. Like, it was a ACA it didn't have to be perfect, and yes, it was
Listen,
under the gun.
the
But in some of
reason
them states, them
the
premiums
reason
was
why
going down
I
to
cannot
100%.
no, I understand
Go
what
ahead.
you're saying, but the reason
Yeah.
why I can't give up on it is it will hurt me is that I am now uninsurable. I am now uninsured because I have two
Right.
stem in my heart.
You have
Right?
conditions already. Yeah.
Remember, said
Conditions.
people were before that. Many persons were uninsurable.
Condition. Yeah.
High blood pressure, diabetes could make you uninsurable. So although it had its shortcomings, it took away people not being insurable. So many persons had access to insurance who, even if they had the money, could not get insurance at one time.
Right.
And that's a blessing because the insurance companies say, oh, he's uninsurable. We can't insure him because of what?
Pre-existing
Pre-existing condition.
condition. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we can't deny that the AC is a good thing. It might not have fulfilled
No,
all
I
of
didn't
its
say it wasn't a
mandate.
good thing. I'm just saying it had some. When we look
It
back
had
at it, we got
shortcomings,
to look
but
at
it
it.
had more benefits than it had shortcomings.
Yeah. That's what I
Well,
got. I
yeah.
gotta leave. I
Far
gotta
more
give it
Steve,
benefits.
do you
on that.
remember? Do you remember when they had to get rid of the individual? See, like, there were parts of it as a. And Stu, I'm not just looking at it as a person that bought it. Looking at it as a person that had to buy it for people. I had to, like, I had to, as a business, I had to have it. So now I'm in a situation where when you're telling motherfuckers you know that's already robbing Peter to pay Paul, that they got to get insurance or else pay a fine. Like, that's an uncomfortable conversation. There are people walking the planet, whether you think they're intelligent or they're not, that just functionally don't think they need insurance.
Yeah.
They don't feel like I should have to get this or I gotta pay a fine because I didn't get this. You know how many over-the-counter motherfuckers in the United States it is?
Yeah,
How
but
many motherfuckers in the
Some
South
niggas
drink
just
many
take an aspirin and call it a
yeah,
day.
but
Yeah,
guess
drink
what?
ginger
But guess
ale when
what?
they stomach hurt and call it a fucking day. Cod liver oil, castor oil, shit like that.
Yeah,
There's a
but
lot of
guess
people
what?
like that.
Because those now you would call functional literate. We have a lot of high school diploma, college degree people who are functional literate who believe that that is so. But when you go to Israel, free healthcare. When you go to Japan, free healthcare. When you go to the richest country in the world,
They don't got 350 million people though.
Yeah,
it don't matter.
what are
It
you
don't
trying
matter
to
that.
do?
No, but
It
if
does
you look at
matter.
the
You
wealth,
making another?
no. If
You
you
making
divide the
another
wealth
argument?
per capita, if you divide the wealth per capita in America, it is
Well,
greater
yeah, I
than
mean,
any
yeah,
other country in the world.
capita.
The
Yeah,
number
but
But
is
what
even saying per
argument? So
350.
you're
capita,
saying that we should have free healthcare? Is that where you're going?
Yes, I'm saying that. Yes, America is
Okay,
too rich not to have free healthcare.
okay.
Are you saying that
Yeah.
America shouldn't have free healthcare?
I think we should. But it should also be limitations on it.
I don't
It's
know,
almost like,
bro.
I mean, not
I
to
don't
bring
know.
this up, but like, for instance, like
I
when
don't know.
growing up, I had one portion of my life I had free lunch, and one portion of my life I had reduced lunch. It was like, all right, mama submitted her financial information. She qualifies whether her kids get free lunch or reduced. So I think it should be some ramifications like that. Like, you
No,
qualify for different
no.
tiers of it.
This is what I say. I say it should be free, and those persons who can pay for exceptional. Because although free healthcare is in Japan, you have people with the money who can fly out and go to Germany for
Yeah, they go
cancer
to other
treatment.
places and get
Uh,
operations.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So although Japan have adequate cancer treatment, they don't have the greatest in the world. America don't have the
I
greatest.
don't.
You can go to Germany if you're rich enough, but it should be
Yeah, but
free.
if you look at those places with the free healthcare, like they have a lot of
No,
issues,
don't.
because when they
No, but don't.
when you
No,
don't
no,
have that
no. Don't say that.
privatized industry like that, the waiting list for
That's
operations,
not true either.
transplants,
That's not true either.
it
That's
is
not
true,
true
bro.
either.
No, no, bro.
Because
The waiting list on
no,
operations
let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. No, when you go to
5
places
years
that
like
have
that.
free healthcare, you might have waiting time. But even people here with good insurance, the simplest of medication most times have to be approved by the insurance.
Yeah, of
The
course.
simplest of tests has to be approved by the insurance. Right? So therefore, when we say, oh, they have waiting time, you have waiting times in Canada, yes. But it's not the longest waiting times. I come from a third world country.
Yeah, now if you want to go over there and
I
get
can call
asthma
Jamaica a
medicine,
third
yeah,
world
that's
country.
different.
And when you look at it, you have to use comparisons.
No,
And
I'm
I
not saying
now
it's not
live
a
in a first
benefit.
world country.
I'm saying that
And
they have issues as well. Is all I'm
yes,
I
saying.
don't.
but
I don't. I just
everywhere
don't
have
think we should
issues.
have.
And even
Yeah,
if you
yeah,
have
no,
good insurance,
for sure. But I'm saying privatized healthcare, when you can afford it, has been the most reliable. Because it's like once you start getting government subsidized healthcare, it's like
how many people
shit.
can afford privatized
Not
health
A
many.
insurance?
That's why
lot.
I think that's the issue. You need to mandate. You need to put caps and mandates on them, which is what America can do. Like they could easily do that. They can make those folks make that shit affordable. Like and make it because they have larger coverage. Those people have large networks. Like my network, bro, I can go to a hospital. I can go to anywhere in America. Like there ain't one place I ain't seen I don't have access to doctor's offices. Not
So
one
let me ask.
place.
Let me ask you a question. When y'all, because I know I know I probably
But
sound crazy when I said I don't
government
believe in no free
facilities, they're
healthcare.
gonna run short when you got all those people on it.
But
Now they
but
can
what
build
is
more.
free
For
healthcare though? What is free healthcare? What is when y'all say free healthcare?
sure. Like
Describe what you think. Describe what you
checkups,
think it is though.
routine checkups. I don't think medication is ever gonna be free. So I mean, I don't think
Medication,
free healthcare is actually
medication is
in the
highly
main.
subsidized.
I don't
Medication
think
is
the
highly
main
subsidized. It's not free, but it's highly subsidized.
for
Meaning
sure.
Yeah,
that
but there's no free healthcare on the planet though.
Yeah, like even in places where it's
free is
very
a
cheap,
relative
it's
That's what I'm
term.
still
trying to
cheaper though.
say.
Like
Like
No, no,
there's
no,
asthma
no
no.
such
medicine
thing
Stop,
as
here,
free
brass,
healthcare.
brass, brass. You're gaslighting now.
they got free
Because you
No,
don't
healthcare
know what
here
we mean
too.
by when
being
we say
But it's
honest.
free.
still you still gotta
No,
pay.
You're not
no.
being
I know
honest.
what you
You're
mean.
gaslighting
No.
now.
Listen to me. I know what you mean. But when you say no free healthcare, remember, I know the reading level. is 60-70% sixth grade. When you say no, when you say free healthcare, niggas think that there are places
That you ain't
where
got to pay a
the
dime.
healthcare is not paid by taxes. The healthcare is not paid by payroll deductions. The healthcare is not, you just don't pay nothing when you go, but you're paying for it. You're just not paying when you go. And
Yeah, you
here's
got a
the
high
and
tax
here's
rate, like
the
a 40%,
yeah. Right.
42%.
No,
but
hold on, Stu. And the other thing I've always taught, well, not taught, and will now teach my kids, and it was taught to me, is that in the United States, there's no such thing as free. So here's my thing. There are versions of our healthcare that you can quote unquote call free, like the VA. But have you been to a VA before?
It's
I have.
terrible.
It's fucking horrible.
Yeah.
Have you been to the DMV in the United States? Have you been to the things that are quote unquote free? Like
Government, operated. Like, yeah, I
the
don't trust
United
it.
States. I don't trust the United States of America to own and operate free healthcare
That's why you got to
for people.
incentivize the companies that already
I
exist.
don't do it.
If you
The
incentivize them,
profit-driven
like
aspect is what
breaks,
works.
like if you have a program within your company that offers, this type of affordable care to people under this certain tier or package or whatnot, you'll get a government tax break. Like that's how you can incentivize these already established infrastructures to provide it. You don't have to have government to do it.
You know a problem I have because I listen very carefully now. For somebody who respect accountability and respect that, listen, the democratic system is based upon accountability, and the democratic system that exists in
Somewhat,
America
to a
is
degree.
standing on accountability. We know that what we have now is not the best, and what is free now is not all that good in some cases because there's no real accountability. Right? It's good enough. The DMV, you might have waiting time, but you're not waiting 2 weeks. You're not waiting 3 weeks. You might be waiting a whole day.
No,
but you're not
that's
waiting.
not true. That's not true.
All right.
I don't know about your DMV. No, listen. I don't know about your DMV. There are some
You do an
appointments
appointment
on
in LA,
our
you got to get an
DMV where you
appointment
can't
in 2
even
weeks.
schedule this shit for 2
Yeah, you got to
months.
get
And
an appointment
now, look,
in 2
like,
weeks,
bro,
2
now
months.
our
Yeah.
DMV is so bad, you can't even go to the DMV without an appointment. And when
Got an
you pull
appointment,
up
yeah.
the
You
appointment,
can't do nothing
unless
out
it's
here
some
without an
like
appointment.
simple license shit or whatever, if it's anything of any kind of title switch or anything that takes more than like 10 minutes to do, bro, these appointments be 2 and 3 months. You got to drive fucking 4 counties over to that one. So trust and believe. I know what you're saying. I ain't talking about going to DMV and sitting there. I'm talking about like the DMV is still fucked off here. I don't know what it is there, but I'm saying like in our town, DMV is one of the worst. It's
Yeah,
terrible.
people dread going to that motherfucker. Like for real.
Yeah, it's terrible. You can't, bro. You can get a ticket for no
anything I
registration.
dread going to that shit because I
Yeah,
know
you can get a
it's gonna
ticket for
be
no registration
it's gonna
fee,
be an issue.
and then you gotta wait. You can schedule your appointment for your registration, but you can keep getting tickets for registration until your appointment, and your appointment might not be for a month from now.
Yeah, I mean when I lived in North Carolina, like you definitely can get in and out the DMV because, like I said, I lived in a town,
Honestly,
200,000 population, but when you live in a city with 8 million, like it's different.
Honestly, while I understand the pushback, because what you say is free and what you say is government subsidized or government control is not good. But in other countries, in the Scandinavian countries, it is relatively good. It's not going to be perfect.
It is.
But those other countries, but okay, hold up. But those other countries, you're not going to have to remove big pharma to install free healthcare. So when you remember, you got to remember. Listen, I've had arguments in this Discord, conversations in this Discord about people wanting to install communism in the United States.
What is communism?
I don't
know what their version. I don't know what their version was.
Is free healthcare communism?
No, I ain't talking about communism. No, this is separate. This is separate. I ain't talking about what we talking about. But my point is going to be this: in the United States, just remember, anything that you want to install, there are 2 time periods it's going to happen before you're able to install anything. You're going to have to do the dismantling of what we already have, And when you're trying to dismantle big pharma in these United States, that might take 200 years to dismantle big pharma, because the people that you need to dismantle them are paid by them. So
And you gotta understand, we
let's
got other
remember
countries
the country
involved.
that we
We
live
get
in.
drugs from Germany. We get our
Right.
prescriptions from other places. Like
So
it's a
now
whole.
here's the second time period though.
It's
When you
levels.
remove them 200 years from now, you're still going to have an installation period of. So that's my thought with communism. In the United States, communism has this thing where nobody is basically ahead of everybody. Is the land is split equally. The government parses out all of it. Everybody is okay. Here's the challenge of that in the United States, though. Hold on.
No. That's idealistic communism.
No, I'm just saying
Communism like
idealistic.
that has
No, and
never
I'm speaking
existed.
idealistically. I'm not talking about reality. I'm talking about ideally. The person I was talking to, that's what they were talking about. They didn't want any millionaires, billionaires, trillionaires. They wanted everybody to make the same thing. Everybody was like a communal living. So I explained to them, you'd have to remove capitalism first. That might take 500 years.
It's impossible.
And then on top of removing capitalism,
I don't even think it's
this
possible.
is now Stu Pease said, we both live in America. Do you truly trust us to give up all our possessions, all of our land, all of anything that we have?
No, but I have never made that argument.
No, I'm not saying you did. I'm telling you what I spoke with. This is Cuban. I spoke to Cuban about this. And I was telling him the problem with trying to install a government in the United States, we just stayed on communism, the base ideal of communism. I wouldn't trust the government to ever give it back. Because remember, communism at some point, they decide the wealth and they do, you got to give up everything but I don't think there'll ever be a
that would be more government control. We want less.
Where they would give it back.
Everybody says China is the most. Listen, China is the most successful. Something of communism.
But they have a socialist communist.
Let me just finish. Please, no comment. Let me finish. China is the most. China is the best example of what communism is, and even in China, nobody talks like nobody acts like how Cuban acts. The only thing that China did the other day that surprised me is that when the guy from Timu, one of the richest men in China, was getting to Elon Musk of power, they took him out, sent him in the countryside, and rehabilitate him because he was starting to think that he was a Jeff Bezos because his money was getting on that level. So, China, whatever his name is,
make any type of policy. Like they'll never be a part of their polyborough or nothing like that. China's very strict on that type of thing.
Yeah, so they had to control him to say, listen, you cannot use your wealth as an influence for changing our system. So they re-educated him.
But they do that in Sweden. They do that in a lot of places too. Like
you say re-educated so eloquently. I'd sure like to see.
Yeah, I just think they kind of re-emerge. They put him back.
I'd like to see back in power.
Population.
They took him out and remind him that listen.
Like to see how they did it. It sounds like
what they did. They reminded him that listen, all of what you have, we can take away. They took him out, sent him to teach at some public school in the country for a year, took him from the head of his company, and then put him back. And said, no, you cannot come and influence our system. That's what they did to him. That's what they did to him.
I don't even think that China's communist. I mean, that'd be a separate conversation for us. When I pay attention to how China moves versus what
they take all that money,
they're not really communist. That's like
programs over the last 20 years.
It's actually a form of capitalism. It's actually a form of capitalism.
It's more socialism at a different level.
I mean, when you adopt a free market, it's gonna be beneficial for you if you regulate it the proper way. I think that's America's regulation. But Singapore was colonized by the British for 150 years. Once they got their freedom and adopted a free market, they have a higher GDP than them now. It means per capita. However, but
Singapore is also social. Singapore is also socialist. They have free healthcare. They have free.
But in practice, they're not socialists or communists.
They're capitalists.
They're
A
capitalists.
socialist mean that a socialist country mean that government control those factors which it's deemed necessary
Yes,
for
it
the
needs
success of their
regulation. You can't have a
Right,
population.
but
motherfucker
China
just selling
also
some
has
shit out there
billionaire
just because.
CEOs. They got a private
Yes, yes,
sector.
but
They
that
got
don't
a
make you not
hold on. They got
socialist.
the hand sing. Hold on. They got the hand sing. They got a wealth gap just like we do. The
Yes,
government over there
They
controls
don't dictate
banking,
policy.
controls energy, controls media. They got no
yeah.
free unions. That's not socialist. They have no free unions and limited worker rights. That's the opposite of socialist.
Yeah, they do. They still got internment camps. They
They
got
have
the
no free
Muslims.
unions.
They got all
That's
type of
the
shit going.
baseline of socialism.
They still got they fucked up shit for sure. I'm talking
No,
about
I'm
still
not
like
saying it's fucked up. I'm saying they're like an authoritarian version of capitalism.
yeah, they
Now they
teeters.
may call themselves because they look at their censorship in the one party state. That's authoritarianism.
Yeah, but they invest tons in education and technology amongst the population programs. Like they really good at that. Like for real.
Right, but they also got Alibaba, TikTok, and all of them.
Yeah,
They might
got
got a tight grip on. Listen.
Well, I
Those
mean,
are
the nigga that
capitalist
owns TikTok
businesses.
is Singaporean, but he made two versions. He's not from China.
Okay. I
Yeah,
wasn't.
he's
Listen.
yeah,
There aren't a lot of private. There are not a lot of motherfucking in communism. It ain't a lot of motherfucking
China just
billionaires and
make their
private
own version of
ownerships,
shit.
and there's no hand sing.
Like they got
There's
their
no
own
there's no market
Instagram, own
in
TikTok.
China.
Yeah, but
They have a
all
stock
right, all
market.
right.
How can you have a communism is the opposite of stock market. They have a stock market. They're
You
not
are right.
communists.
You're right. China is something different, right?
Yeah, like I
China
said,
is
they
something
cheated the
different.
No, but
line.
when you say they're the most successful example of communism,
Yeah,
they're not
because
even practicing communism.
They are though.
because
They're pretty
no,
successful
because the
overall.
reason why I said that is because they call themselves communists, and because I did not want to disrespect them. If they call themselves a communists, I'm going to use the word communist to describe them, but I also put a caveat on it, and the caveat was that they are the most successful communists because that's what they call themselves. It
Okay.
might not look like the communism that exists in Soviet Union and the Marxism.
No, I ain't
but
even
that's
talking
what they
about
call
Soviet
themselves.
Union.
Yeah, it ain't
I'm trying to
Marxism
figure
and
where are
communism.
the billionaires in communism? Where's the private companies and markets and shit
They
in
usually
communism?
China, in the
government
China
position.
version of
Right.
communism.
You said that's a version of communism. Okay.
Yes,
I mean,
the China version
I
of
ain't gonna fight
communism.
you. I ain't
there's
gonna
no
fight
one
you.
same
I ain't
version
gonna
of
fight you.
communism though.
And
All
there's no one
communists,
same version of capitalism either.
There's no one version of capitalism. That's why I said it's an
not a right.
authoritarian.
You
I'm
got some
saying
with
it's an
higher government
authoritarian
regulations, some with no
capitalism.
government regulations.
That's all I'm saying.
I mean,
I'm not
it's all
saying
about
that.
government involvement. That's going to determine the level of your shit. Like honestly, like how involved is government in this shit? Some governments have more involvement. Like I would say, our government has, not full regulation on our capitalist or free market, but they have some regulation. Like you ain't just gonna throw, they ain't gonna just let any tomato hit the fucking shelf. You know what I mean? Nigga can't just go on
Yeah.
the street sell
And that
whatever the fuck.
depends on whose office, right? That
Well,
also
yeah, true.
depends
But
on who's
I'm
in
talking about
office.
overall. There's still some regulation, like you know what I
True.
mean. Like some places like Singapore, there's like little to no regulations, which can be dangerous, but also in the beginning beneficial for you because the free market is just like anybody.
Singapore have
Bring a business
regulation.
here. No, they do. They have some. It's like, but I think they call it little to no regulation or something like that.
No, that's
Maybe
what
I'm
it
wrong.
looks like. No, what they have is that they open the market to facilitate investment, but behind those curtains, they have a lot. The market is very, 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 very. It's being observed,
Yeah.
and because it's a smaller country, they can make changes quickly.
But I mean, if you
stop
look at a lot of
from
places
happening.
like Rwanda, places like that are adopting free markets, you can see the growth. Like it's exponential. Like it's not even funny. Like I said, Singapore, bro, they was colonized for 150 years. They have a higher GDP than Great Britain right now. That's incredible.
Yeah, but
That's crazy.
Rwanda using the Singapore model now. That's
Yeah,
what Rwanda
Rwanda
is
is
doing.
too. Yeah.
Rwanda using the Singapore
But I
model. You
said
can
the
read the
free
model.
market is good and bad because like now you allow other people to come over here and open up businesses too, which can be good. Like in America, that's good. A lot of immigrants who come here open a business hire a lot of Americans, and it's usually not the other way around. So like I said, there's pluses and minuses, there's pros and cons to all of it. You just got to have the right amount of regulation.
Yeah, I think they're using because in communism you've always got that long transition idea So I think they're just using that Marxist-Lenin language.
China don't use the Marxist-Lenin.
They don't have a
approach.
Marxist-Leninist version.
No.
bro.
I
Like,
said
that's
I
the
didn't
case.
say that. I'm not saying that.
Oh,
I said they use the I said they use the language of Marxism and Leninism.
That's the most
Or not
common
even.
form that we
They use it to justify their authoritarianism.
Yes.
That's. I'm not
like,
saying
you see how they
Marxist and
treat
Leninist. I'm not saying that.
those Uyghur Muslims or whatever they have you say it, like they treat them like shit. I mean, like they got them in internment camps, all type of wild labor camps and shit. So like, yeah, they still got fucked up shit for sure.
Because China not allowing religion to overtake them the system. Because they understand that if you leave the Muslims to dictate your shit and they spread across the country, your system not going to work anymore. Tell me, look, let's be honest. When we look at Muslim countries,
that's the thing though. Like,
no.
how
When
they treat
we look
them
at
is
Muslim
humanitarian
countries,
issue, bro.
Nigeria have a
Period.
population of 200 million. They have oil. They have so much oil under that country that it can almost compete with Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, then go tell you. That's the president.
Yet still, it's a bullshit country. That all Muslim like supercars and white women and freaky shit.
Yeah,
Nobody can deny it.
it.
Every Muslim country got you with money. All you see is supercars, and they cover up their own women, but they import women for sex.
Mm-hmm.
And they love European watches and European stuff. They
Well,
don't invest
Nigeria,
in
they get
anything
taught
for
British.
stuff.
They get taught a British curriculum over there.
They don't, right? We might see Kuwait and say, oh, Kuwait is beautiful. Kuwait is a red light district of the Arab nation. They build their own red light district. That's what Kuwait is. Kuwait. Not Kuwait. What's the country name?
They use
Not
Lebanon.
Kuwait.
Like they use Lebanon.
51 that the girls have got to get shit on. What do you call that? The country that the girls got to get shit on. We have the most
Colombia.
You have the funniest Dubai. You have the funniest description.
Oh yeah, but you know the girls in Dubai
is the red light district of Arab countries.
Yeah, they go to Lebanon and Kuwait to party so they can wild out. They can't do that shit.
No, I'm talking Dubai. Boss, do you agree? They disagree with me when I call Dubai the red light district of Arab nations.
No. Here's the thing. Hold on. It depends on what you mean, because a lot of that red light shit in Dubai, you can get fucking locked up for. They really actually
but if you're not rich enough,
maybe like the black market, like the black market behind the scenes, you can, but not in the open. You can't get away.
Dubai more times than I can count, and I've never seen nothing whatsoever like that ever.
They're discreet with that shit. But it's a red light district.
It got to be for the royals. Then it can't be for no regular patrons.
No, you too broke for that lifestyle.
I don't know.
Brass might have some penny, but Brass know that lifestyle in Dubai is a different level lifestyle. You know, 100,000.
I've been frequent. I used to spend months in Dubai. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but they went to nice places, but Dubai is a red light district.
Yeah, that shit was.
It's where
was hidden. That shit was hidden from us. I'm gonna be real.
No. What Dubai allows the Arab to flaunt his wealth. Wealthy people are not frowned upon in Dubai.
They do more to flaunt their wealth. They do more than that.
So when they go back to their home country,
ATM machines and gold sinks. I stayed in hotels with gold sinks and shit like that.
Right. Yeah, so that it allowed them to flaunt their wealth.
Yeah. Nah, if you go to the Burj Dubai, you go inside. This shit is all wrapped in fucking gold plated wallpaper and wild shit like it's crazy, bro.
Yeah, that's the purpose of it. But back to what I was saying, like these Arabs, the Chinese control the Arabs, the Muslim, because they will fuck up your shit. They will fuck up your shit. The Quran.
They definitely too kind to them folks for sure. I know they it's like humanitarian issue how they do them, honestly.
Yeah. Right. Then we fuck up your shit. You don't want them to be in control. You do. Saudi Arabia, based on the money that them have, should have some of the greatest universities in the world.
Yeah, Saudi Arabia, they kind of loosening up though. They getting a little more lenient on this shit. Like you see over there, celebrate
I'm
Christmas
not
and shit
talking about
now.
that. I'm talking about infrastructure. Most of these oil countries, the infrastructure that's in the country, the school that's in the country, the education level. First, you need to suppress half of your population. No, nobody don't want that. You suppress all of the women in your population.
I even heard they do DNA tests before people have children to make sure they don't got no fucked up shit. Like they ain't gonna produce no, you know what I'm saying? No wild ass kid or some shit. I don't know how
What
true
in
that is.
Dubai?
Yeah, like they determine like the genetics, like if
No, the
them
reason
kids.
why they're doing that is because the money is staying concentrated in the house Assad.
Yeah.
I said the house Assad is marrying each other. So most of the wives coming from some second, third, or fourth cousins because the money not spreading out. Because the family big, so they're marrying within each other. They're not going outside and marrying strangers.
Yeah.
So they don't want that double gene that is happening in the New York acidic community where the gene's shitty, where them have the
Nah,
highest
they
level
serious about that
of
shit.
fucked up children. Because them have all different kind of genetic problem because the level of inbreeding that has been happening over the last couple of hundreds of years or thousands of years, where they're basically breeding with each other. So they're fucking up the genes fucked up.
Yeah,
Acidic
nah.
genes are fucked up. They know that too. You can't go and read it up. I'm not lying.
Yeah,
Just
nah,
type in.
I read something about it. I couldn't remember exactly what I saw, but I know they were talking about they were genetic testing for people who having, you know, pretty much kids over there in the UAE.
No, but they do it. They do it in the UAE and they do it in New York too.
Yeah.
Among the Jews, and they have to do it with the house Assad because the house Assad basically
Oh, because they inbred
intermarrying
for
now.
so long. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yes, you have to make sure that you don't have any genetic abnormality to pass